Welcome dear student. Our today's topic is plants, that is structure and function for class 7 science, and this is part 1 video. So student, we see different plants around us and their structure and characteristic and function of each plant is different from each other. Okay, and today in this video we shall study about roots, and there are different types of roots we are going to study in this part. So let's begin. Okay, so student, which are the various parts of plant? So I hope you are familiar with different parts of a plant, so let's revise them. Okay, so this is a structure of a plant, and student, plants typically have 6 basic parts. Okay, so these 6 are the basic parts of a plant. Like flower, you can observe the roots. Okay, root is basic part, then above root it is stems is there, and then leaves of a plant, flowers, fruits and seeds. Okay, so these are the basic parts of a plant, and the roots they are developing below the ground, so it is called as a root system, and above the root, that is including flower, leaf, fruit, stem, this is called as a shoot system. Okay, so there are two systems: root system below the ground, shoot system above the ground. Okay, and shoot system contains most of the parts of a plant except root. Okay, now student, the roots, stem, leaves, flower, fruits, etc. of different plants are different from each other, and we can identify plants with the help of these different characteristics. And let us now acquaint ourselves with these plant organ in greater detail. But in this video we shall study only about roots and types of roots, and all the parts we will do in later video. Okay, so first study about roots. So student, this is a seed, and the part that grows from inside the seed towards the soil, it's called as a radicle. So what is radicle? The part that grows from inside the seed towards the soil is called as a radicle, and the part that grows above the soil it's called as a plumule. So there are two parts, that is radicle which grow below the towards the soil, it is called as a radicle, and the part that grows above the soil, it's called as a plumule. You can observe the leaves are arising from the radicle, it is plumule. Okay. So student, the root that forms from the radicle, okay, the roots that are formed from the radicle grows into the ground, and the root is thick near the ground and gradually tapers means it is thinner to a pointed end. Okay, so the roots are basically thick near the ground, and as it moving in deep to the ground, it is tapering, that means it is very thinner to a pointed end. And this part of the plant growing below the soil for support is called as a root. So this is thicker at the near the ground, but as deeper in the ground it is thinner or taper. Okay, now next is types of a root. So there are different types of a root. So first is the tap roots, and second is a fibrous root. So student, there are two tap roots and fibrous roots. So dicotyledonous plants have tap root system, while monocotyledonous plants have fibrous roots. Okay, so here I have put picture of monocots and dicots plants. So monocots have which type of root? These are having fibrous root system. Okay, so you can observe the fibrous root system, that is many branching leaves branching roots are there. Monocot means the seed is it has only one cotyledon. Okay, like grasses, it includes mainly grasses. You can observe the grasses and onion. Okay, but taproot system, it includes dicotyledonous plant, that means it has two seeds leaves. Okay, like clover and mustards. And in taproot you can observe the main one root is there, and around the main root there are different head like roots are present. Okay, so this is a taproot system in dicot plant, and fibrous root system is present in a monocot plants. Now let's move further. Okay, so first let us study about taproot system. So what is taproot system? So student, here you can observe the picture of a taproots, and roots of some plants produces secondary roots. Okay, that roots of some plants produces secondary roots that grow obliquely and spread far and wide in the soil. So roots, and these are called as a taproot, and this type of root is called as a taproot, and this type of root supports the plant. Okay, so you can observe the taproot system in which one main root is there in the middle, and the secondary roots are arising from the main root or primary root. Okay, so let's understand the different terms about taproot. So here this is a root hair. So root bears hair like process near the root tips. These are called as a root hair. You can observe the small hair like projection. These are called as a root hair. And the root tip is very delicate. So this is a delicate at the end of the root, and this is the region of the growth of the root, and that means from this root tip the root is growing above the soil, and the tip is covered by a cap like structure called the root cap. So I hope that you can clearly the root cap is clearly visible in the picture, and the root cap protects the root tip from the injuries. Okay, and apart from these secondary root you can observe and primary roots. So secondary roots are arising from the primary root. So this is all about the structure of taproot system. This is cap. Okay, now fibrous roots. So student, what are the fibrous roots? So fibrous roots are bushy roots in which thin moderately branching roots grow from the stem. So this is totally opposite from the taproot system. In taproot system we have primary roots are there, and from the primary roots secondary roots are arising, but here no primary roots and no secondary roots, only the branches or bushy like roots are growing. So these are called as a fibrous roots. And student, thread like or fiber like roots arising from the stem are called as a fibrous roots. So here you can observe in the tomato plant, and if you will put the onion, okay, inside the water, so you can observe the fiber like or thread like roots are arising from the lower part of the onion. Okay, so these are again the fibrous root. Okay, now next are adventitious roots. Now what are these? So student, the adventitious roots are the ones that can arise from anywhere apart from the original producing organ of the plant. So these roots can be arising from any parts of the plant or apart from the roots. That means here you can observe in maize plant, maize stalk, the place of origin of adventitious root is not fixed. They can grow anywhere in the plant, and it can arise from the stem of the plants or leaf of the plants. Okay, and roots are underground, whereas some grow from the stem just above the soil, and the later are called as adventitious roots. So these are the organ, the arising organ is not fixed, that is roots are not fixed. These can be arise from any part of the plant. That means they can be arising from stems, and they can and leaves also. So these are the adventitious roots. Okay, so student, besides the normal function like absorption of water and minerals, so this is a normal function like absorption of water and mineral, anchoring and supporting, that means give proper gesture to the plant. Roots perform some other functions also, and roots show some modification to perform this additional function. So the base apart from performing common function or basic function, roots are performing some additional functions, and these are known as the modified roots. Now let's see some examples of the modified roots. Okay, so first is example is the aerial root. You can observe here the aerial roots. These are the type of root grows from the stem of a plant. Okay, in case of a banyan tree. And second is the stilt root. Now what are these stilt roots? So student, these roots develop from the lower part of a stem. You can observe here the lower part of the stem, the roots are arising just to give the support and proper uptake of water and mineral from the ground. And next is the runners and nematophores. Now runners, you can observe the in strawberry plant, like here short stem crown is then runner or stolon is then, and from this stolon what happened, daughter plants are arising. So this is a type of a runner plant. Okay, in which and the strawberry is one of the famous example of a runner plant. And next is a nematophore. Now these are also known as a breathing roots. Now what are these roots? So student, nematophores are the roots that grows vertically upward vertically upwards to get oxygen for respiration by plant. These are mainly growing in marshy areas. So student, that's all about this video. I hope you all have understood, and next part we'll surely do in our next lesson. Thank you.